Hi, I'm Brian Marsh, your potential coach. Fear of being mediocre? I've got some tips for you to overcome that. Let's start with tip number one. The reality is, life in the middle is sometimes unavoidable statistically. Think about it. Everyone cannot be in the top 1%. Everyone cannot be in the top 10%. There are going to be those that fall below the top 1% or the top 10%. So being mediocre is sometimes statistically unavoidable. But life in the middle does not have to be your norm. The other point that I want to bring to you is that although being in the middle statistically is unavoidable, understand that not every area of your life need to be lived in the area of mediocrity. There are some areas of your life where you will be an overachiever. There will be other areas of your life where you just maintain the middle, the mediocre middle. So let's talk about how to overcome your feelings of mediocrity. That's what we'll focus on in the balance of this video. On that note, I'd like to share a quote with you from Thomas Watson. If you are unwilling to fail, you guarantee at best you will remain average. What does that mean? That means that you have to try things that you've never tried before. If you are in fact afraid of being in the middle or afraid of being mediocre, that means that you have to try new things. You have to accomplish things that you've never accomplished before. There's a quote that I use many times with my clients, and that is, life begins when you leave your comfort zone. Life begins when you leave your comfort zone. Once you leave your comfort zone, you pretty much guarantee that you explode out of that mediocre middle. You have a fear of being mediocre. You have a fear of being left behind. The reality is, though you may have that fear, you are in control. And we'll talk about some ways that you can take control of getting yourself out of that mediocre middle. Control number one, you control what you read. You control what goes into your mind, what goes into your eyes, what you hear. In other words, look at ways to educate yourself. Get better about topics that are critical to the human condition. Get better about getting information inside of you. Educate yourself on critical issues, on current events. That takes you out of the mediocre middle because now you're able to have conversations that you weren't able to have before. You will introduce yourself to people, and people will introduce themselves to you as a result of your conversation, as a result of your newfound knowledge that you would not have been introduced to before. So now you are on your way out of the mediocre middle. Education is one point. Another point for you to think about is how you frame success. Instead of focusing so much on how much money you make, focus on you. Focus on being a better version of yourself. Focus on being more authentic and more genuine. That will generate energy towards you. People will gravitate towards you if they understand that you are a real and genuine person. As you gravitate energy to you, you are moving yourself out of the mediocre middle. So those 2 points are points that I would stress that you focus on if you in fact have a fear of being left in the mediocre middle. So one last point that I will tell you, it's an exercise. It's free. You don't have to buy anything at all. Take out a piece of paper. Do this. I always recommend this to my clients who tell me that they have this fear that you have. take out a piece of paper. On one side of the paper, list a column of things that you feel that you are mediocre in, areas of your life that you fear that you are mediocre in. Make another column right next to it. And I want you to list the habits of the people who you believe are in the top 1%. What habits do they have concerning those things? So maybe you list out that you're a poor conversationalist. Okay. The people that are in the top 1%, what do you think their habits are in that area? List them out. Perhaps they have a habit of reading a book a month. Okay, that could be a habit. Maybe they listen to 2 or 3 speeches a month. That could be another habit. These are just examples. But you list out the habits of the top 1%, and then right next to that, make another column and list the habits of the mediocre. What do you think the mediocre people are doing in that same category? And here's the end of the exercise. Focus on the habits of the 1%. You've already listed them. You've identified them. So start performing them. There can be no transformation without action. So this is your action step. If you want to know how to get out of the mediocre middle, this is how to get out of the mediocre middle. You will no longer have a fear of being mediocre if you do this exercise. This is Brian Marsh, your potential coach. For more information, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you next time.